Hi, everyone, here with the champ, David Benavidez. David, it's always a pleasure talking to you. Looking forward to this big mega fight on November 22nd. Let's start off. This is going down in Saudi Arabia. It's your first fight outside of North America, and it's a huge one. You've moved up your training camp to Dubai. Tell me what this fight means to you and what changes you've done and why.
So I'm very excited for this fight. This is a big fight. My first fight with Riyadh season. So like I said, we're really excited for this fight. We got a great opponent. It's gonna be my first title of my WBC belt. So I'm very excited. We've been training extremely hard for this camp. We have like 4 months and a half training. And the only reason we came out here to Dubai, we were trying to go to Riyadh for the whole month. Um, but they only wanted us in Riyadh for 10 days. So, just to acclimate to the time, to the weather, to, the change in elevation, we decided we would finish out here for 1 month. Um, we've been here for 2 weeks, I think. Yeah, it's been 2 weeks. We have another week. And then next week we leave to Riyadh. So, yeah, there hasn't really been too much big changes. I feel like the only changes that I have another strength and conditioning trainer, Sam Aaron. And everything has been great. It's been a great camp. I feel like every camp is better than the last camp because I know the type of quality of opponents just goes up and up. And with that, I know that I have to train hard and I have to be on my A game because now I'm the champion. This is my first, like I said, my first defense of my title, the WBC title. And after this, the sky's the limit. We got a lot of big fights coming up in the future. You know, um, Hopefully with Surdo Ramirez, hopefully with Dimitri Bivol, or maybe with Beterbiev. But that being said, I know Anthony Yarde's trainer has been saying that I'm overlooking him, this and that. I've never overlooked any opponent. That's where I'm at, and that's why I give the type of performances that I give because I give every fighter the respect they deserve, and I go in there and I work extremely hard. And this is a fight. This fight is no different. This is probably one of the hardest training camps I've ever had. Not hardest, but this is the hardest I've worked. So I'm excited. Anthony. I know Anthony Yarde is coming in here 100% ready. I'm coming in 100% ready, and I'm gonna show him who's the best come November 22nd.
David, you touched on, fighting certain fighters possibly soon and respect. Now you're coming into this fight as the new WBC light heavyweight champion. Dimitri Bivol chose to vacate instead of facing you. Do you take that as a sign of respect, or is that unfinished business?
It was definitely unfinished business. I think there was just a lot of pressure on his end. Also for the WBC too, because I've done everything right to get these types of fights. So, they've treated everybody else with respect. And if they wouldn't have allowed me to fight for my right for the being ranked number one for the WBC twice, that would have been a sign of disrespect from the WBC. You know, I let I left the super middleweight division for that reason because I wasn't getting the fight that I deserved, and not only the fight, just the right to fight for a world title. I was in line, I did everything right, and I coming up to 175. I also had a great fight with David Morrell. I won the right again to fight for the world title. So, but Dimitri Bivol, he's a great fighter, but he knows I'm a great fighter as well. So I don't know if it's a sign of respect or what it is, but he knows what's coming. We have a lot of unfinished business, me and him. We used to spar a lot and when we were younger. But those are great sparring sessions. So now we definitely deserve to give it to the fans in a real fight.
Absolutely. And it's funny that you say when you guys were younger, when you're still in your 20s, I think there's still even way better David Benavidez than that could come, and you're already at the pinnacle. But you said that you never just want to win, you want to make statements. What kind of statement are you aiming to make in Saudi Arabia?
Well, I want to go in there and make a big statement in Saudi Arabia, and I want to show the whole light heavyweight division who I am. And Anthony Yarde is a great opponent to do that. Anthony Yarde is a tough opponent. He's fought Kovalev, he's fought Archer Beterbiev, and he's given great performances. He's giving great fights. Um, but with this fight, I'm gonna just show that I'm on a different level, and I know he's gonna be giving a great fight until the start, from the start until the end. but I'm just on a different level, and I'm coming into my prime, and I'm gonna definitely show the world why I am the best fighter today in the world.
You speak of your opponent, Anthony Yarde's abilities. You know, he comes in with a lot of power, just like you. How do you plan to neutralize that?
Just being the same fighter that I always am, using my jab, using my distance, using my body shots, using my combinations. I'm one of the most accurate fighters in boxing today, and um, I think just being who I am and just being who I am is definitely going to neutralize them. You know, I know how to fight on the inside. I know how to fight on the outside. I know how to counter. I know how to do all that, and that's why I'm one of the best fighters today because there's nothing I can't do in the ring, and I'm getting better and better every single day. You know, I'm getting more experience. You know, every fight, like I said, is better than the last, and you know, this is gonna be the same thing as that. You know, this is gonna be a better performance than my last performance, and I'm definitely gonna show the world why. You know, why they call me El Monstro, why I'm the monster of the division. And but it's gonna be a great fight. Like I said, Anthony Yarde, he's not a tough, he's not an easy customer. He goes into the fight, but that doesn't scare me at all. If anything, that makes me more hungry to go in there and brawl it out with him.
How do you put into words what fans can expect in your fight?
They can expect a war, honestly. And like I said, the type of I think I know why people love to see me fight is because I don't shy away from anything. If Anthony Yarde saying he's not going to take a step back, well, I'm not going to take a step back either. You know, I know that the fans love to see great fights. They don't want to see people running away from each other. I am who I am because this is the only way I know how to fight. I don't know how to fight any other way. You know, so he's saying that this is going to be the toughest fight. You know, I want to see that. I want to see that. So he better prove it to me. Like I said, I'm not scared of nobody, and I'm not scared of what people say that they could do. You know, at the end of the day, this is my world, so we're gonna go in there. We're gonna see what Anthony Yarde is all about.
Yeah, and David, you know, I've known you for a long time. You know, you've always called out the biggest names for years, and now you are the name. How do you stay hungry? And how do you stay hungry as now you're the hunted?
Just hearing people talk and say that they could beat me, I think that's what's always motivated me. You know, people saying that I'm not this, I'm not that, but when I get them in the ring, that they know exactly who I am, and they say I'm the best fighter in the world, and just continuing to prove myself. You know, I hear all the people talking out there saying that there's people that can beat me. I'm scared of this and that. I'm not scared of nobody, and this is why I'm calling out the best fighters because I want to get in there and prove to the world that I am the best in the world. And until I retire, people, it's not going to stop. People are going to say that I'm ducking this person, ducking that person. So every person that they say that I'm ducking, I'm going to get in the ring and I'm going to beat them. And I'm going to prove them that I am the best in the world. And I'm going to prove that I'm going to be the best of my generation.
Right? And lastly, if I could just get a message from you in Spanish para toda la afición, todos los latinos que no se pierdan tu pelea y qué pueden esperar, qué tipo de pelea.
Pues le quiero invitar a toda la gente, toda mi raza de México, toda la raza de los Estados Unidos, los mexicanos, los latinos, que compren la pelea en noviembre 22. Va a ser una guerra, pero como le digo, this is a monstrous world y le voy a dar una guerra y estamos entrenando bien duro para esta pelea. Me siento bien motivado, me siento muy bien ahorita, fuerte, rápido y le voy a dar una guerra para toda la gente que está mirando en los Estados Unidos y en México.
Muy bien, muchísimas gracias, David. Éxito. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.